Yes, I can hear you.
Come on, army of the Lord, praise it. There is power in the name. In the name of Jesus, just to break every chain. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Just to break every chain. Break every chain. Break every. Come on, everybody say there's an army. There's an army rising. Oh, yeah. There's an army rising. There's an army. There's an army rising. Break every chain. Break every. Nobody in this moment.
All right, so good evening, everyone. We are recording tonight's session. It is the Plan to Prosper session. Oh my word, we are in 2020. Like, are y'all excited? Are you ready to do 2020? Like, are you really, really ready to do 2020? I'm so excited about the speakers who are going to be teaching tonight. You'll hear from Tammie Polk and Michelle Wilson. Michelle is on another call finishing up, but Tammie is here with us. And so I'm just going to change the schedule around just a little bit, but she's ready. And so I'm so, so excited. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Pastor Cassandra. I'm so excited about tonight. It's just going to be epic, and I hope that you brought paper and pen and that you're ready to write and that you're ready to work. I went live earlier today and I was telling people, on my Facebook Live, that it's one thing to have a great night where you can come together and you can get in Zoom and you can do a lot of talking. It's another thing, it's another complete thing to leave with something. And so my goal to you tonight is to not lecture you, but to inform and empower and inspire you to get started. We all have the bucket list things. Some things we got to, other things we didn't. And we came into 2020 and some of us were really excited. Some of us were a little upset with ourselves, and others of us may have been filled with anxiety. And so we're just going to kick off tonight with prayer to alleviate all that, because we know that fear, anxiety, worry, depression, any of that, anything that could be on you from your work day, I just want you to shake it off right now. Like, just do a quick shake, like just let it go, because the enemy knows if he can have your mind reeling about something in your subconscious, then you will not pay attention to what's in front of you. And how many of us know that if you don't pay attention to what's in front of you, you'll hit something? He's hoping for the crash. He's hoping for the downfall. He's hoping that you are so distracted that all of this just kind of washes over your head and you're completely lost. Now, you're in for a treat tonight, because tonight is kickoff night. So tonight you're going to get a lot of information. We're going to do Q&A at the end, but we are also recording. So you guys get this recording for a lifetime. Can you clap at your house for lifetime access? Amen. And so don't forget to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you are watching in from or calling in from, and what your business is. Your next client may be on here. Come on, somebody, we come to work tonight. Your next client may be on here. Your next best friend may be on here. Your confidant, your accountability partner, I believe you're going to find in the room tonight. So I believe one way to get things popping and exciting is to network, right? So make sure you put that information in the chat group so that people can kind of see that throughout the evening. I am excited because I love to teach. This is my realm. This is my gift, is teaching. My mother's gift was teaching. It's who I get it from. And so a little bit about myself. Well, this is our second or third Plan to Prosper event, but we've never done it in this format. And so I'm so excited that you will get the recording of tonight's session. We'll come back on Wednesday to launch things. I'm just so excited about that. Like, is it Wednesday yet, right? Like, I like teaching, but I like implementing too. And so Wednesday is going to be equally important that you're here on Wednesday night at 7. If you miss it, we'll record that session as well. But our goal really is to teach, train, and develop, and then get into the crust of it. We want to hear from you all. So I hope that you brought questions. I hope that you brought worries. I hope that you brought things that you either tried to do last year and it didn't go well, or things that you're worried about producing this year. You're just not sure where to start. I wanted you to bring all that into the room tonight so that we can work through that and have a fresh slate on Wednesday. You're going to love Wednesday. So make sure that you're here for both nights, but don't worry if you're not. You'll get both recordings. Now, if you're still inviting people like I know you guys are, let them know that I do have my phone. It's right here. So if people are jumping in my inbox to get in, they'll just be sent the link and they'll come on in the room. Everyone is pre-muted until tonight at Q&A. If you're on the computer, you should have access to raise your little hand, and so I'll see that. If you have something that's just pressing that can't wait until the end, but we want to encourage you to hold your questions to the end because we have like a whole time frame to do Q&A. And I'm excited about Q&A because that's my part where I moderate Q&A. Okay, so I don't want to leave that part out. So make sure any questions, comments, and concerns you have, leave them for the end, just so that our speakers can keep their train of thought. Y'all, are you ready to work tonight? Put work in the chat if you're ready to come to work. Like, you didn't really come to play no games. You got some stuff that you got to get done. You got some things you got to sort out, right? And you need to produce. If you know anything about me, you know that I am a producer. I'm not just a talker. We're going to take the information. We're going to produce something on Wednesday that's going to not only impact your life and change your life, but it's going to change others' lives around you. Amen? And so I believe that we're all connected to someone else other than ourselves, other than our actual being. And there's some things in us that need to be manifested in the world so that people can be better. Does anybody else believe that? Right? And so if we hold all that stuff in, if we can't get through our own thoughts, if we can't sort through our own emotions, then each and every day we're not being producers in this earth. It means someone is going without. One of the biggest questions I get asked often is, Leslie, where do you get all the energy? Where do you get all the excitement? Where do you get all the zest and the zeal that we see? This is Leslie like 98.9% of the time. Like, I am a laughter, I am a jokester, I enjoy life, but it's because each and every day I think about what could have been. I think about what could have been with me. I think about what could have been with my family. I think about what could have been with my son. And so, guys, we have to be the joy in the earth. I believe that's why Christians in the marketplace just have a different calling and a different responsibility. The world is walking around depressed, trying to figure out their life, and they can't do it on their own. And it is our job to come along, have our stuff together, right? Come on, somebody. Have our stuff together to be able to aid them. And let's just talk about for a moment before we like really go deep dive in, because Tammie's going to take you all the way in. I hope you're ready. But before we get like started tonight, I think it's just important that we get clear, that we get really clear, like before the rest of the year continues. Right? You'll attend conferences. You'll attend your women's empowerment events. You'll go to those things that you go to every year. Some of us may have just started doing that, right? But one thing that I know for sure is that when I walk into a room, I bring the energy of expectation. I expect a lot from the speakers. I expect a lot from the people sitting on the right and the left side of me. I expect a lot from myself, and I expect a lot from God. And so I hope that you came with an expectant heart tonight so that you can receive it all, digest it, sort it, and then pull out something amazing on Wednesday night. So you cannot miss Wednesday night. Who am I? If it's your first time meeting me, first time joining me, you may be watching the replay. Hey girl, hey, I am Leslie Wright, and I am the director and founder of Parties by Leslie Event Planning Company. I am located here in Greensboro, North Carolina, but I am originally like born and bred, put it on my tombstone, Landover, Maryland. Okay, I'm a Maryland girl. And so started out, my father was a drummer in the church. My mom was a Sunday school teacher, also worked in downtown DC for an attorney for years and years and years. By night, my father's trade was security. And so growing up, I always thought as a little girl that he was a police officer. And so all the kids in the neighborhood were very scared to be my friend for a very long time. That was back in the day when we actually feared police officers. So Then we grew up a little bit, and my father went into ministry. So he started out as a minister in the church, and then graduated to a pastor and got ordained. And I remember that moment, and it completely changed the trajectory of my life and the pathway, I think, for our whole family. And so I'm just grateful for a praying mother and a steadfast, focused father who has made me the woman I am today. Graduated from UNCG, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, with a communication degree, and currently pursuing my doctorate in public policy. I believe that we have better policies when we communicate better. We got to communicate better before we can make policies. And so I'm so excited about that. A beautiful puppy. Well, how old is he now? Like 10 months, 12 months old now? He's getting old. But I have a little puppy. He's black as night. If I show him to you, you can almost miss him. That's how dark he is. And then my beautiful boy, Jaden Jackson, who is 9, who is just the love of my life and the reason why I do what I do. And man, God is doing a mighty work. If you follow me on social media, he's doing so many amazing things over here. We're just trying to keep up. And I know that he has big things in store for you. So let's get started. I got Tammie on the line. I want to bring her forward. Not only is Tammie a friend and a client, but she is a dynamic woman of God. I remember meeting Tammie Polk through Facebook, I think it was, and I was just blown away. I love a woman who can stand her own and knows her own truth. You'll hear that come through as she talks to you tonight. She does not sway in who she is in any shape, form, or fashion, but she knows the power of prayer. She knows the power of God. She is a mom as well, and so she knows what it means to juggle wife duties and mom duties. Anybody got some multiple duties out there other than just the calling on your life? Put yes in the comments, right? Like, not only are we trying to take care of this thing that's on us and what we've been called to do, but we also have other tasks, right? And so she's a wife, she's a mom, and so she knows what it means to multitask this calling and other duties. But she is absolutely amazing. She has written over 50 books. What? I'm just trying to get to like 20 books. She's celebrating 50 books. Just let that sit with you, okay? The time management required for that, okay? So she's celebrating over 50 books. She has newly launched her bookstore. I mean, I could just go on for days. And her biggest thing, her epicenter, y'all, is making sure that we're leaving something in the land that will outlive us. And she believes that is through literary works and books and the articulation of our story. And I'm just so honored to have her. Beautiful, beautiful children and husband and just overall life. And I believe that when you sit under the tutelage of someone for an evening, that they should know a little bit about what you're going through, right? And so I want to make sure that we picked authors that were well versed, not only in their expertise, but well versed in life. Come on, somebody. I need somebody who can talk to me about the real. I need somebody that don't sugarcoat. Let me know what 1 + 1 is every day of the week. Come on, right? And so without further ado, Tammie, I want to make sure I could bring you on. Let me scroll. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, make sure you put who you are, what your business is, and what did I say, guys? Where you live? What's your digits? No, not your real address. Just put your city. Your city is suffice. Your city will suffice. Your business, and just say hello to everybody. Hi, Sharon. Hey, Heather. So excited to have you guys on here. Let me unmute Tammie now.
You hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you, Tam. Hi, Tam. Everybody say hey, Tammie.
What's up?
We got a funny here tonight. Let's go, Tammie. Let's go. Tell them who you are.
I bring you greetings from the home of Elvis Grizzly, the National Civil Rights Museum and Barbecue, Memphis, Tennessee.
Woo-hoo!
I am born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and I know half the people on here are going to kill me. Most of the people around the world are going to hate me when I say this, but even though I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, roll tide, I'm an Alabama girl at heart. My entire family is actually from the state of Alabama, where my grandmother, who just turned 95 years old, actually taught school for almost 40 years. So Leslie and I have something in common. But as she said, I am a married homeschooling mother of 3 heads of hair. 16, about to be 12, and 7. And that 7-year-old, Lord have mercy on everybody's soul. For anybody who comes around that little girl, I don't know who raised that little girl. But I am an educator at heart, but I'm an author by trade, and I have been blessed to pen and publish 57 as of this morning books on most things: life, faith, family, ministry, education, business, with a little bit of fiction in there. My goal is to inspire, encourage, uplift, and equip you to eliminate excuses and excel in life and business. And excuses is exactly what I plan on talking about today. Leslie will tell you this is my absolute favorite thing to talk about on the planet.
Yeah.
Because as a wife, as a mother, as the wife of a FedEx employee, y'all pray for me. One thing that I cannot abide, and I try not to do it myself, is excuses. And I'm going to start off my time by giving you the 7 most common excuses that I hear as to why women, period, single, married, divorced, widowed, doesn't matter, give me for not having life and business together. So the first one is, I'm broke. Now, before your mind automatically goes to money, let me explain something. There are 4 areas of brokenness. You can be physically broken, mentally, emotionally broken, financially broken, and spiritually broken. And believe it or not, if any of those are out of whack, it is going to cost you money. If you do not take care of your health, if you do not audit your circle and watch who you have around you, if you have itching ears and don't use a spirit of discernment, or if your spending priorities are not in check, all of that will cost you money, and a lot of it. Now, that's the life part. Let me take it over to the business. And I'm going kind of fast because I want to make sure that I get all 7 of them in. When it comes to business, a lot of women say, well, I want to go into business for myself. There's something that God has put on my heart and mind to do. But when it comes to getting the mentoring and coaching that I need, I just don't have the money. There is more than one way to skin a cat. I tell people all the time, if there is a coach or a mentor, guru, influencer, whatever you want to call them, that you want to work with, and you have to work out your money salvation with fear and trembling until you can get to work with them, Leslie, stop laughing. I don't even have to look down to know that you're laughing at me. But I ask people this: do they have a Facebook group? Are you on their email list? Do they have a mastermind? Do they have an online course? Have they written a book? Are they speaking within a reasonable distance of you? And if they are, do they need volunteers for their event? The other thing to think about is bartering, but you have to be careful with that, because if you're not willing to give them the same time and effort that they are returning to you, don't use bartering. So you have to ask yourself, am I actually broke? And we go broke mentally before we start our businesses because we think that we have to start out with the top, the best, and the brightest that we see our idols using. And then we end up business poor before we even get started. So you have to look at
what is available around you. And as my mom, God rest her soul, used to tell me, baby, use what you can until you can get what you want. So you may have to deal with the Facebook algorithm for a while. You may have to pray and fast over them Canva tutorials. You just might have to use Vistaprint, Google, and everything else until you get your legs under you. It is better to do that than to start any vision, life, or business in debt. I'll give you a personal testimony on that. When I first started my business, I knew exactly what kind of brick and mortar building that I wanted to be in, and I found it. It was one street over from my house. Couldn't get any better than that. It was built exactly the way that I needed it to be, right down to the ins. It's awesome when you walk in somewhere and the storage closet, amen, somebody is already what you needed to be. I said, Jesus is truly good because look at this closet. But when she told me that that unit was $625 a month, excluding utilities, I said, right now, that's not my ministry. And I said, but it will be one day. So there was another office complex across the street. They had a little 10 by 6 office space that I could use. It was $150 a month, all inclusive. That include printing, Wi-Fi, 24-hour access, all of that. All of that. And it was $150 a month. So I took that because it gave me what I needed. I was still close to home and able to do what I needed to do. So you have to ask yourself, yes, there is this app or this tool that I want to use, but until I get the funds for it, I need to find something a little bit more cost effective that I can use to get me started so that I can serve the people that I am meant to serve until such a time as things turn around for me. So that's being broke. Second thing, I don't have time. Yeah, you do. Because the thing about it is, time is the one thing that we all have the same amount of, yet we use very differently. When I give this particular talk, I always ask the women in the room this question. I ask them, when you are at the salon under the dryer getting your hair done, what are you doing? When you are standing in the line in the grocery store, what are you doing? When you are stuck in traffic screaming at the cars in front of you, that's time that you could be using to read, watch, listen to, or do something that is going to help you to build your vision. If you are waiting for your child to come out of practice or an extracurricular activity, that is time that you could be using. That's time that you could be using to do something, to grow and enhance your vision. I'll give you another testimony about that. Gentleman was at a baseball game. and he took the time that the teams were
Tammy,
changing the field.
Tammy, can you hear me?
Yes,
We're getting the kids in the background. Can you get to a quiet place for me? We're just
yes.
hearing.
Hold on, okay. Hold on, just a second.
Okay. While she's doing that, wasn't that good? Like, how many of us sit in traffic and then we're just sitting there at the light, frustrated or upset or screaming at the cars when you could be taking that time to do something for your business? That's pretty powerful, right? Sitting in the dentist's office, sitting at the laundromat, just when you're idle, what are you doing with that time that seems to be idle? That blessed me. Guys, tonight, as you get aha moments, it's going to be hard to recall. We all know recall can be a little tricky when we're excited and we're in the moment. So make sure that you do me a favor and use hashtag BWN, which is virtual work night, on your personal Facebook pages, on your social media. Let people know that we're here, and we'll be back again Wednesday at 7:30. So, but as Tammie said, 57 books. Like, y'all thought I was busy. I hang out with people who are more busy than me. So birds of a feather flock together, but it is so, so true. What are we doing with the time that we have? I love what she said about the different forms of brokenness. And sometimes that word will slip, right? Like, I'm working with my boyfriend on that. Be careful about the words that you say. Pastor Cassandra talks about that a lot. That we frame our very existence, the thing that we're dwelling in, the thing that we're complaining about, the thing that we're stuck on, is the very thing that we created with our own mouths. And man, that's hard. That's hard to be able to say, I think I made this mess myself with my own mouth, with my own tongue. I'm the one that put myself in jail here, right? And so it's one of those things where we got to watch what we say. So Tammie's ready to come back. Tammie, let's roll. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade real quick. Let me see if she is. I think she is. Okay. Tammie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. Okay, good. So getting back to the example that I was giving, during the time that the teams changed the field, this man decided to check his email. He's a car salesman. So he checks his email and there's an inquiry there for somebody who wants to meet with him and buy a vehicle. So he sits there, he goes through his what we call an onboarding process and sets everything up with this guy. And then the game resumes. Or this man goes to work the next day. He sells not one vehicle, but two, and made a 5-figure commission. It is paramount to our life and business success to recognize and take advantage of downtime. But as wives, as mothers, as women in general, we always like to think that we don't have downtime. I tell people all the time, 8:30 at night is the quietest time in my house. And it's because my husband is going to work, my two younger girls are in bed, and my 16-year-old, if I'm working, she already knows. If you are not bleeding, dying, looking at Jesus, or dead, don't bother me. So I use that time to work on things. So you have to be honest with yourself and look at how you spend your time on a daily basis. That's the second one. Third one, I have a job. Now, this is usually where people get mad at me. Because when they tell me that I can't start my business, I can't have my business, I can't move forward in my business because I work, I'm like, and? But let me tell you why. You have to change the mindset that you have around or about your job. And I say that because everything that you do at your job on a daily basis is something that you can use in your business. If there is a policy or procedure, if there is a policy or a procedure in your job that you don't like, instead of complaining about it, get your notebook that you keep your personal notes in, and then say to yourself, if this were my business, how would I change this policy? How would I make this situation better? How would I change it? If this were my company, what would I do? Those tasks that you consider to be mundane could be the very processes that help you to build your business into what you need it to be in order to be successful. All of that training that you're going through, that you hated, that you had to get up for, it's all useful, because 6 times out of 10, the software and things that you are learning to use, if you do a little bit of research, they sell an individual license. So if you find something that you like, take note of it. And then when you are in a place in your business where you can get that app or that tool or that software for yourself, do so. Your job is where you build relationships that can help you in your business. My first business coach, Tamika Anderson, she's out of Atlanta. She got her first corporate clients while being a cashier at Sam's. She would watch what they were purchasing, and during that time, she would ask them about their businesses based on what she saw them buying. And they would leave her their cards. So when she branched out on her own and started building her business, she already had a prospective client base because she called and emailed those people who came through her line as a cashier at Sam's first. She used her job to build relationships. You have to change your mindset about your job and see it as a time, money, and effort investment, if you will, into what it is that you are trying or working to build with your business. Number 4, I have a family. That's another and. We sometimes miss out on the best help in the world because we do not know the strengths, gifts, and talents present within our own four walls. There are people, because I'm not going to say women, there are people in general who are paying tens of thousands of dollars for stuff that their teenager figured out 6 months ago. So if you have kids, find out what their gifts and talents are, what their strong suits are. Your significant other, do you know what they are good at? Because not only is it going to save you money, it's going to help build their skill set. And I was speaking to a lady about that very point one day, and she told me, she said, Tammie, you are so right. She said, I spent $1,500 getting my new branding done. And she says, and one day my son came up to me and he said, Mom, I have a project in my marketing class where I have to build a brand for a business. And she instantly got upset because here it is. She could have put that $1,500 somewhere else, but she had not asked her son what all he had to do with that project before she spent the money. Because my brain would say, if he's taking a marketing class, he's going to need to practice some stuff. So, what do I need that he may be working on? So, she goes on this whole tirade about how she spent $1,500 on all of this branding and all of this stuff. And she was like, well, why didn't you tell me you guys were covering this kind of stuff in class? And he says, well, Mom, you didn't ask. And she couldn't say anything else. Now, on the flip side of that, I understand that you got folk in your family that you wouldn't let touch your vision. If Jesus told you to do it, you would argue him tooth and nail because you don't want them anywhere near it. I understand that. Howsoever, comma, use your family. My husband has an eye for business and industrial design. When I got my first space, and even when I got the space that I have now, I let him do what he does. IKEA knows him by name. But that is his strong suit. So whether it's a vendor table, whether it's one of my workshops or any type of space, he will draw me a diagram. He'll make me a shopping list and say, here, do this, and then take a picture. So I go, I do that, I take a picture, and I get and bring that back to him. So you have to ask yourself, what are the gifts and the talents present in your family? Number 5 If you're not mad at me yet, you will be with number 5. And that is this: my talent or skill is just a hobby or a little something that I do on the side. No, ma'am, not allowed. And I say that because as women, we operate in crisis mode so much that we forget who we are and what we know how to do until there is a time of crisis. And then when you let crisis remind you of who you are, you get mad because you have a skill set that you allow life to make you lay dormant. And now that it's come back up, you're looking and using any and everywhere that you can and to better it in every way that you can, simply because you know that you cannot let that talent or skill lie dormant again. And the thing about it is, you're running after this business opportunity and that business opportunity. Not to say that they aren't good, and there are some awesome ones out there, but sweetheart, let me ask you a question. What would happen in your life, in your business, if you got serious about the skills and natural talents that God gave you? What would happen if you put the time, money, and effort behind those talents and did what God told you to do with them? One thing about me, I've been writing since I was 11 years old. I had a knowledge of words from a very young age. And it was my sixth grade teacher that figured that out. And so much so that I spent my sixth grade year in elementary school in writing contests. That was all I did because she put me in every one that she could put me into. But as life happened, I stopped writing midway through college because of deaths in my family, losing family and friends in the September 11th attacks. Just things like that. My mother getting sick and eventually passing away, getting married, having a child, having another child, having another kid, losing a child, losing everything I had, regaining it all. Writing left me until one day I was sitting on my couch watching Dr. Phil, of all things, and he had a series literally called Girls Gone Stupid. And I was sitting there listening to these young ladies who were ruining their lives. And there were 15 issues that he talked about over those 2 weeks. And I sat down with a notebook and I wrote how I felt about that. After that 2 weeks was up, I took those reflection journals and I created my own characters and stories of young girls who had those same issues. Then I picked up my Bible and said, okay, what does God say about this? The next thing I know, I had my first book in September of 2015 entitled From One King's Daughter to Another, Understanding Your Value. And when that book went live, I said, okay, God, you gave me writing back for a reason. Don't let me lose it. And he didn't, because I started writing book number 2, The Virtuous Businesswoman, inspired by Proverbs 31, the day after From One King's Daughter to Another came out. And here I am. As of noon today, I have penned and self-published 57 books, including 2 audio anthologies and 2 co-authored projects. I tell people all the time, my mantra is I write my way through life, and writing is my cross, because it is. There have been days where that natural writing talent that came out of me at 11 years old paid my bills and fed my family. There were days when, yes, all the rest of my bills were paid, but I would take one $12 book sale and say, okay, what else can I do so that my family makes it? So no matter what your talent is, in 2020, you better set to managing your talent than wasting your talent, because there is a difference. When you are managing your talent, that means that you are doing everything that God remotely gives you the unction on how to do, to make that talent better for his honor and his glory, while you make money from it. When you are wasting your talent, that means that you will show it to any and everybody that you can for a quick dollar, and now you stressed out. Number 6, I don't know how to do anything else but this, what I'm doing right now. God has never created a one-hit wonder. You are a multi-talented, multifaceted individual, and if you want to argue with me about it, let's go. Because he has equipped you to literally turn the world upside down. You have gifts, plural, talents, plural, skills, plural, within you. Look at the disciples. Those men still use their talents even in the ministry. They didn't let them go. Paul made tents. Peter fished. Jesus was a carpenter. Come on now. There is something else that is in you to do. And it's that one little thing that when you do it and somebody tells you how good you are at it, you blow it off. That little thing right there, that little thing right there that you won't take seriously is what's going to change your life. Because I tell people all the time, what God has put in you is meant to save or to change somebody's life, faith, family, ministry, and or their business. So who are you to keep it to yourself? Number 7, and this is the worst one of the bunch. If I had to say which one was the worst, it's this one. And that is, no, I'm good where I am. You are lying. And the truth is not in you. How do I know you're lying? Here you go. Whether you're online or offline, you see this person, be it friend, family, loved one, co-worker, foe, frenemy, or church member, who is out there killing it, They're doing what God told them to do. God is blessing. They're having all these opportunities. And as soon as they say good morning to you, you roll your eyes. And you're saying to yourself, what is she so happy for? Good Lord, she acting like she won the lottery just because she got her little business going and she got her little promotion and whatnot and so forth. And she think that she just got everything going on. I ain't even worried about that. It don't even take all that because I done did this and I got this going for me and I ain't have to do all of that. She need to go somewhere with all that. Let me tell you something real quick. It's not her you're mad at. You're mad because she is prospering from taking the steps that you refuse to. Because I tell people all the time, you never know who's watching you, be it online, offline, work, church. And when I get to this one, I ask women this question. I said, if the person who was holding the key to your next level was standing in front of you, watching your attitude as you stand right now, would they give it to you? And if you were honest, the answer would be no. They wouldn't give it to you because you're walking around like a ticking time bomb, thinking that you're okay living on yesterday's successes. You're the person that will go sit in your office and look at all of your degrees and accolades and remind yourself of how you got each one, so that the fact that you passed on an opportunity that was truly meant for you doesn't sting so much. Because see, the thing about it is, many times when we are presented with something that is genuinely going to help us, we start to look at what's wrong with it. Why do I have to get up that early? Why does it cost that much? Why does it have to be that far away? Why do the ticket sales have to end then? Why do I have to um, attend the live event to get all the perks? Why do I have to do this and why do I have to do that? And it don't take all of that. And then once you see somebody, once you see that person who did it, who went, who sacrificed the time, the money, and the effort, and they coming back and they glowing and they got all these nuggets and they trying to share them with you, and you don't want to hear any of it because it's just reminding you of what you didn't get done because you said, no, I'm good where I am. But then you say, you know what, maybe there's still time for me. So I'm going to go check it out. But then you get mad. Why? Because enrollment is closed. The price went up. You got to travel farther. You can't do it online no more. Them perks ain't perks no more. You gotta pay for them if you want them. And then you're sitting up here saying to yourself, my God, what happened? What happened was you was good.
I'm sorry, Tammie. Trying to keep my composure. I'm gonna break this chair. You better teach tonight. Y'all listen, I want to take a quick moment to say that I can't write as fast as she's talking. So I hope that you type faster than you can write, or you can write faster than you can type. Some stuff is going to be new stuff you've heard tonight, and some stuff is just going to be a little tap on the shoulder from Jesus. Like I told you that last week. I told you, what more confirmation do you need? Right? And so But make sure you use the hashtag tonight, BWN Virtual Work Night. Look, you know about 10 people that need to be on this just from tonight, just from what you've already heard. So make sure that you are sharing the virtual work night. We'll be back here Wednesday at 7 p.m. Tammie, keep talking. Like Michelle's here. Michelle's like, go Tam, go. Like her bring Michelle up. Michelle here, but finish, please. But guys, as you get aha moments, remember recall. You may not remember everything, you may not catch everything, so write as you go. But also put on your personal Facebook page your aha moments. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Tammie, go.
Okay, so let me recap because I flipped over to the chat for a second. Somebody asked for a recap, so let me go back. Number one, I'm broke. Number two, I don't have time. Number three, I have a job. Number four, I have a family. Number five, my talent or skill is just a hobby or a side hustle. Shorten that a little bit. Number six, I don't know how to do anything else. Number seven, I'm good where I am. And since the doors of the church have been opened, excuse me, I want to say one more major thing. If you've got a problem with one of these, I call them slayers because that's exactly what they're designed to do. They're designed to kill you, your dream, and your vision if you ain't careful. But that can lead to as few as 5 or as many as 50 things going wrong in your life and your business. Because the thing about it is, if 2 through 7 are out of whack, it's going to lead to you saying number one. Because when you don't take those few little moments that you have in order to do something, especially if you're trying to catch, somebody's special or discount or whatever, if you don't take those few seconds that you have and go ahead and enroll, by the time you get settled, the price done went up. So you not taking those few minutes while you pumping gas to go ahead and enroll in this course is the reason why you didn't get in it when it was $197. Now it's $15.97, and you like, dang, I really need this, so I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and go ahead and do it. And as you putting your credit card number in, you saying to yourself, I just sat in the car while I pumped my gas, and now this is costing me $1,400 more than it should have. When you don't have the right mindset about your job, that costs you money. And right when you don't have the right mindset about your job, that costs you money. Why? Because you gonna end up demonstrating an attitude that's gonna get you fired. And it's gonna cost you money because now there what is no money. When you don't understand the gifts and the talents present in your family is going to cost you money because you see what they can do. You may only see a glimpse of it, but you will assume that they can't do something instead of sitting down and talking to them to see what their realm of skill actually is. Now you're just like the Dion, the lady that I spoke about, and you spent $1,500, and then you want to get mad because you walk up on your 15-year-old son doing what you just paid somebody else $1,500 to do. When you don't take your talents seriously, that costs you money. And that costs you money because the day that you do take your talents seriously, what you need in order to keep your talents on track is now going to cost more for you to have what you need to build the vision that you should have already been working on. When you allow talents to lie dormant and say that this is the only thing that I can do, it's costing you money because there is someone somewhere, sometime, somehow, in some way who needs that something that you do. But because you are not out there with it, because this one thing is making you money, you letting that talent lie dormant is costing you money. Saying that you are good in the state that you are in, it is costing you money because you're saying that in front of the person who is about to pay you your bonus. You're saying that in front of the person who's holding the key to your promotion. You're saying that in front of the person who just recommended you for something and now they're going back and rescinding it. You're saying that and displaying that in front of a coach who was about to gift you the program that all you had to do was open your mouth and say that you were interested, but you're